So, yeah, fabulous, fabulous. Okay. Okie dokie, this is where I find out I've got way too many screens open. I've got way too many screens open. I've never nailed opening my Zoom to be on the right screen. The first thing I want to find out actually is how many of you, I'm going to assume because this is a talk about ChatGPT, is my screen sharing?
Yeah.
Cool. Thank you. What I wanted to find out is how many of you are you still on the free version of ChatGPT, or who's using the free version? Yeah, Kirsty. Come on, why can I not see everybody? Let's have a look. So who's on the paid version?
I am.
I am.
Yeah.
Yep.
So keep your hand up if you feel that you're using it, but you're still missing something. Yeah,
Not
and
using it,
even on
didn't
the
you?
free version as well, to be fair, on either of the versions. Yeah, absolutely. I have recently, in the last week, you might have seen it this morning or over the last couple of days, is that I've been carrying out an assessment and I've called it an AI readiness assessment. And what's interesting is that people are still using it to carry out tasks. So normally that's one piece of work that someone will do, or using it for automation. And only 25% of people are using it strategically to grow the business, which means there's a huge, I guess there's a huge training gap between how people are using it and how much more potential it has for you moving forward. Get rid of this in the corner. Okay. So context is everything inside of ChatGPT. So within this masterclass, basically what I want to do is take you beyond just using it as a tool, just using it for content, just using it for automation. I'm going to show you and give you insight as to how you can use it strategically in your business to help you to grow faster with greater clarity. Now, we know that every business, every successful business needs a clear, actionable yearly plan and a quarterly plan. But actually, I should have put the question in there. That would have been interesting. I should have put the question in and asked, do you actually have a yearly and a quarterly plan? And actually, are you using it every day, every week to map out exactly what it is that you should be focusing on? So one of the things I'm going to show you is why that is important to start doing now if you're not doing it with AI. And even if you are doing it, actually, how you can use AI to enhance that process significantly and to move you forward much more quickly. So we'll explore how you can use your, what I call an AI dream team to map out your quarterly roadmap. And that's one that is 100% unique and aligned to your goals, and is going to help you to make ultimately smarter, faster decisions, which sets the business up for repeat success over the year. Often we create a business plan or plan, and we don't look at it. We create it and we think, yeah, and then it goes in a drawer, or we take some notes every now and again, or we don't look at it for another 3 months. And by the time you get to the end of the 3 months, it's actually too late. Let me just, oh, I knew I would forget. Look.
It's very difficult to sit here.
Oh, okay. Let me now. Okay, cool. I think I've got everyone in. Okay, so I want to be upfront. I don't want to wait until the last minute. I want to be very transparent. So at the end, what I'm going to do is I'm going to share an invitation to you to join Sprint. It's a program where I work closely with specifically one-person business owners. We'll put everything that we talk about into action, and it's down to you at the end of the day whether that's something you think that you would be interested in. But by the end of the session, one of the things that I'm hoping to do is for you to see the possibility of how you can step outside and start using ChatGPT differently. So, are you ready? Oh, and for those of you that actually already know me, because I know quite a few people who are on the talk, if you want to join sprints, there's what I've done is I've set up a waiting list. There are 8 people already that have joined sprint. There's 3 places left. So if you're interested in joining, fill in the waitlist form, and then I will take a look and see if it's a good fit for you or not. So you can do that and get started. Although I have forgot to pop it in the chat box, which isn't very helpful. But I will do that. Oh, I've got a. Can everybody make sure their speakers are off, please? I mean, their microphones. That would be great. Thank you. Okay, so for me, before I started using ChatGPT, running my business always felt pretty much like a uphill battle. I felt that wasn't good enough. I wasn't smart enough. I always felt that I was behind in doing things, that I was missing the trick. I was working incredibly hard. I wasn't getting anywhere. One of the reasons why I started to use ChatGPT wasn't because I was looking for a AI tool to help me to grow my business. I was looking for something that I could use to help me to manage my dyslexia. But actually, it became much more than that because it helped me to work on areas of the business that I wasn't able to work on before, that I didn't have insight into because the tools weren't available. So I felt like I'd opened Pandora's box, and I was absolutely blown away by what I could achieve within the business because I had what I call a second brain to help me to grow the business. So all of this feeling of not good enough, not being able to strategically grow the business, not being able to get out of my own way, that all just dissolved. So suddenly I could express myself. I had clarity on the decisions that I was making. I could structure my ideas more clearly. I could think more strategically. And these are skills that I felt I had missing in the business. Because the truth is, we only know what we know, and we don't know anything beyond that. And actually getting access to the resources that push us into that space can be quite challenging. Well, I have to a number of reasons. One is that we often don't have the time, we're time poor. Another thing is that we don't necessarily have the budget either to invest in CEOs, business coaches. So we can often just get stuck in the business, going nowhere fast, on rinse and repeat, as I like to say. So what happened was, by using AI, I started to move into a completely different space where my confidence increased and my clarity to be able to lead in the business was really honed and sharpened. So I don't use it as a tool. I don't think of it as a tool. I think of using AI as a strategic team. And this is what I mean when I talk about dream teams. Everybody has their own unique AI dream team. So my dream team consists of a CEO, big picture thinking. So when I was saying that was having those challenges, thinking about how to grow the business strategically, the CEO, his name's Lucas. I'll introduce you to him in a bit. He has big picture. So he's helped me to clarify exactly where it is I'm going, what it is that I need to be doing. So he's stepped in to do that. Also on my dream team, I have a business coach who is a critical thinker, loves to solve real time problems in the here and now, very different to the CEO. She's called Wendy. I named it after myself, interestingly enough. So when my clients use her, they think, Wendy, but that's just me. Very smart. And the CEO, the business coach, they complement one another beautifully. So, of course, to put the icing on the cake, I've got a marketing manager who's also part of my dream team. So he's fantastic at creating marketing campaigns. So quarterly marketing campaign, but not just the goal that you're aiming towards. He'll work backwards and he will tell you exactly what needs to be done on what day, what is likely to work, what's the message you've got to shape. So takes all the hard thinking out, takes all of the hard working out. And the final, for me, is my sales mentor. Absolutely brilliant. So not just pricing, but let's just say I have a difficult conversation with a client that I need to have around finances. We all have them, and it's something that makes me really nervous, makes me really anxious. I don't like doing it. So what I'll do is I'll talk to my sales mentor, and we'll go through a conversation, and then he'll help me to go back to that individual and sort it out. And there's not a problem. So that is my dream team. Incredibly powerful, incredibly powerful. It has completely transformed my business. So it hasn't replaced my business. I think a lot of people think that AI is going to replace jobs, but actually, I've found something different. What's happened for me is that the people I wouldn't hire anyway. But it's allowed me to grow the business quicker so I can hire people that I hadn't thought that I would hire before. So I've up leveled rather than thinking about slow growth and thinking about actually I can now afford to work with that person. So it's at a different level. I'm not sure I'm quite explaining that right, but for me, it's actually created more opportunity in terms of hiring people than it has not hiring people, because the business is growing. The business is growing quicker, which is really cool. So when I first started using ChatGPT and teaching one-person business owners how to use it, I saw a spike in significant growth in the business by 500%. And that's because I was using it strategically to bring my knowledge, my wisdom, my expertise together, to use it strategically so I could get my messaging, my sales, a crystal clear plan of what it is I was doing, when it made a significant difference. So everything we cover today is just the beginning. Just think of this as the beginning of the journey. And if you're ready to go further, I'll let you know about Sprint at the end of the masterclass. We're going to go over to ChatGPT in a bit because I want to show you how the team comes together and it works. And I want to give you examples of clients who have created their own dream teams and the effect that it's actually had on their business. But I decided to, because of the experience that I've had and what I've been creating, and because I've been teaching ChatGPT for the last 2.5 years now, and I've seen the struggles and the difficulties that people have, which are actually very similar to the struggles and difficulties that I've had. They're unique, I think, to one-person business owners. So I saw that there were common threads with all of us. So I decided that because I was using my own dream team, I would start creating dream teams for other people so they could free up their time. They'd have clarity with their decision making. They were cutting costs in terms of their outsourcing costs. They're reducing the outsourcing costs, which is really great. So I moved them from a position of just using AI ad hoc, willy-nilly, just popping in, maybe doing an email sequence, or just popping in to write a blog post, which is how they were historically using it, which didn't really have a focus. Yes, those tasks needed to be done, and they do need to be done, and they still do them. But actually, there is another level, another tier that you can use to grow strategically. So I adapted that methodology, and they have created their own dream teams, which is really, really cool. So yeah, so I've started helping those people. So this is when I really noticed. I mean, it's different, isn't it? When you do it for yourself, you're like, okay, I can see the results, they're for myself. But when you start to see the transformation in your clients, you move into a whole different space. There you have the evidence. There you have the feedback. There you know that it's not just you're not just a bit strange and you have an odd relationship with AI. So the results are tangible. We can see the results, which is really, 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 really awesome. And I think what's lovely about it is that the results are unique for everybody. It's not, it's not about make 5K. Everyone's going to make 5K by the end of the month. It's not about that. It is the results are unique, and you'll see as we go through how unique they are for each individual. So I think this is about making a shift from thinking that AI is just a tool, that it's just something that does automation. It's just something that does great copy. Yes, it can do all of those things, but doing the tasks, to be fair, is anyone can do tasks, anyone can do automation, straightforward. It's easy. We've now moved into a completely different, unique space where you can use it as a strategic partner. If you think about, when if you ever worked for an employer, very long time ago for me, but if you ever worked for an employer, you would, maybe once a month, you would all get together, you'd have your team meeting, everyone would be around the table. And my memory was that it was particularly uncomfortable, not something I really enjoyed. But you can create this environment now with AI online, whereby you get your CEO, your business coach, your sales mentor, your marketing manager together, and you can have a conversation about a piece of work that you are working on. So I have just gone through this process to create this presentation. So it has a lot of knowledge, a lot of information about me. I've taken the assessments, I've analysed the assessments, I've made sure that the messages align with what's in the assessment, so everything is on point. I wouldn't have had that clarity. I can write a presentation, no problem. But the bit that would have been missing is, not the sequence. It is what's missing is the actual message that people need to hear. Wouldn't have been as sharp as it is now because I wouldn't have that insight into the nuances, the patterns within the assessment, which is really, really, really cool. So it gives you an extra level of certainty. So the real power of AI isn't in content creation, it's in helping you to plan and structure your business for growth. It plays a much more significant role. And ultimately, that's what I want to show you today. So it is so smart. So as one-person business owners, we often, so many hats we've got: marketing, copy, sales, accounts. It's just endless. And what happens is you can get stuck in the wax of the business. You can find yourself, swimming against the rapids. It's really, really hard work. So I've been working with my CEO, my AI CEO, for quite some time. And what I do is I use it weekly, and I'll show you in a bit. I use it weekly. I interact with it. I tell it what I'm up to, what I'm working on this week. I pull in other agents so we can have conversations and we can do workflows, which I'll show you because that probably doesn't make any sense. But he turned around to me not so long ago and said, "Wendy, you are the bottleneck in your business." And it's not something that I was expecting. To be fair, it was a bit of a shock. It was a bit of a shock, firstly, because it used my name, and I was a bit, whoa, this is a bit weird. Because that's unusual. It's only just started doing it recently. So that to me is quite incredible because he's been analyzing all of our interactions over a certain time. He's now actually seeing the bigger picture of how I'm operating and working within the business, which is really cool. To me, that's a gift because it's very easy then for us to sort out what to do. You know, then because the next natural question is, well, how do I resolve that? How is it showing up? How am I getting in my own way? How am I the bottleneck? You know, you can ask all of these questions to resolve and unpick it and find your way out of it. Now, if I hadn't done that, if I didn't have Lucas to help me with that, I would still be stuck in exactly the same place because I only know what I know. I don't know anything different, and no one's told me anything different. So that to me is just, it was a gift. And lots of people that I work with, they have very similar aha moments, but obviously not the same context as me. It's more to do with their own business and where they are within their own business and the conversations that they're having. So ultimately, I didn't have a clear plan for the business because what was happening is I was doing everything, like you're probably doing everything. So there comes a time when we start outsourcing, but what was happening was I was becoming the bottleneck because I was doing everything in the business. I was actually focused in on the wrong actions, and that's exactly what he told me. He said that I was focused in on the wrong things, and this is what I needed to do instead. Now, of course, that's a two-way conversation. I'm not just going to take Lucas's word for it, but we'll have a conversation and I will sort out with him which is the best way to move forward because he has a critical overview of what I'm doing in the business. And the problem is because I didn't have a plan, I didn't know where the revenue was coming from, I didn't know how many clients I needed, I didn't know what my messaging was. You know, the list actually is it's really, really endless. It really means that you have an inconsistent business and it just go up and down like a yo-yo. There won't be any I mean businesses go up and down like a yo-yo anyway, but it's the degree of the yo-yo that you experience. Yeah, so that was really, really insightful, really great. So I started to fine-tune the business, started to create the quarterly plan, started with the yearly plan. I then started with a quarterly plan, and that's what it is that I do now. So he's really asked me, he's really helped me to sort that out. Yeah, so he told me something that I absolutely was not expecting. So let me just flip over, see if I can get, okay. So just raise your hands if you've ever felt like you're bottleneck in your business and that, you know, yeah, you're stuck. Yeah. And has it been challenging to try and navigate your way out of that by yourself? Yeah, it's impossible, isn't it? It's impossible because you don't know what you don't know what you don't know. Yeah, so AI is absolutely brilliant to help you get out of your own way, to help you to resolve challenges. I haven't discovered anything else quite like it. Sorry, I'm trying to get back to my slides now. No, it's not. Oh, there we go. Now it's not letting. No, it's not letting me. Come on. Come on. Come on, come on. Oh. All right. Okay. Cool. Yeah, it's challenging. Really challenging. So I've had lots of aha moments from using ChatGPT, but I think that one brought me to tears because I don't know, I've been in business 15 years and I've always had this, why is it not working? I don't know if you can relate to that. Why is it not working? Why am I not further ahead than I should be? Why this? Why that? And literally, I get to the end of the year and I would be a ball of tears because I just couldn't figure it out. And it's not because I wasn't, it's not because I just don't know what you don't know. So that was a real transformative moment for me in terms of having that conversation and relationship. So for me, it was about, planning smarter, not working harder, that's for sure. AI wasn't just saving me time at this point, it was now working with me strategically to give me a very clear roadmap that I didn't even know I needed, which is cool. Yeah, and so as soon as I started to implement that, everything shifted. So my relationship with my business has shifted, which is great. And this is something that clients talk about a lot, and it is the certainty it brings to help them with the decisions it is they're making. So they might be thinking, oh, I'm not sure about this, and they'll put it on hold. And actually, 9 times out of 10, it's a really, really good idea. But they put it on hold because they may not have the confidence, the clarity. They're not 100% sure whether it's going to work. And what happens is they start to have conversations with Lucas, the business coach, and then they find when they come out the other end that they should absolutely be doing it. And what that does is it raises their confidence, their self-esteem. They are more certain. And that's what people buy in business, is that it's that energy, it's the confidence, it's the self belief that it can help people because you're clearing your mind, you're using it as a sounding board, you're using it strategically. So AI isn't just about writing emails. It isn't, it's much more, it's an asset. It's a powerful business asset that if you use it correctly, it'll help you to structure your entire year and your quarter and beyond that. I can only cope with a year. I can't cope with 2, 3, 5 years. That's just too it's too much for me. It's too much for me. So who feels like the quarterly strategy is currently a little unclear? Oh, why is it that? Oh, here we go. Is anyone brave enough? I mean, mine used to be, not now. Now I'm absolutely crystal clear on what I'm doing when, what the direction. Is anyone not crystal clear? The direction that they're heading in? Yeah. Yeah. Thanks for sharing that. I know it is a bit personal. Okay. Slides. Oh, not used to all this jumping around. I like to see everybody. I don't like to be staring at my slides. Yeah, so what is an AI dream team? Ultimately, an AI dream team isn't just a one size fits all system. It's not. An AI dream team has a core of AI agents that sit within inside AI, but each individual has a unique team for them. So specialized agents that they can use. So it adds, they don't only just have the foundation like the CEO, the business coach, and the other key ones. They also have other agents that they can use as well. And we'll have a look at that in a second. So it's not about tasks, not about seeing it as a tool. It's about using it as a structured system, that thinking of it like a group of business partners that can help you to make decisions. So there are the 4 key roles, and those are the ones that this is my dream team, and everybody has this dream team, and then they create their own members on top of this. So I have the CEO, he's obviously big picture. something that I struggle with. So I created him to be able to give that overview for the year. There's the business coach that deals with the day-to-day running. So think of these as individual members that you can use, individual agents that you can use that are all specifically created to fulfill one specific role. So Tip, sales mentor, and Buzz does the marketing. So the four of them are like your secret weapon in your business. You consistently use them throughout the week. You might lean into one more than the other. You might be running a campaign and you use all of them. You might just be thinking about, okay, I've got to get my slides, my presentation done. So you just use Lucas, which is what I predominantly do. But everyone starts with those four, because from those four, you can then see how they work, how to use them, how you can think about actually what are the agents that I need to create within my business. Okay, so it might feel overwhelming because it's not a concept that is out there and that is being shared. This is pretty new. I've been doing this for the last 6 months and I haven't seen anybody else doing it this way. So it might feel a little bit overwhelming, but when we get into ChatGPT, hopefully it will be a bit clearer. But ultimately, what we do in sprints is we use those four foundational agents to help you to create your yearly and your quarterly plan. So basically, they do all of the heavy lifting. So Bernie, she's been working with me since the beginning, actually. And she did sprints. She refined her messaging and she increased her sales by 30% from mapping out her quarter using the framework it is that I teach. Sean, he saves 15 hours a week. He saves, well, basically it's equivalent of a member of staff. So he saves 14,000 a year on outsourcing of costs. He's a digital market agency. Oh, and I do believe we have this lovely lady with us. I'm going to put her on the spot. Oh, if I can find how to put you on the spot.
Hello.
Hello.
You
I
okay?
saw you there, so I thought, right, there you go.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's okay me saying everything and how wonderful it is and how good it is, but there's nothing better than actually hearing from someone who's been on the journey with me. What would you say?
Yeah.
What do you think people
It's
need to know?
oh my God. Everything that Wendy's sharing is absolute truth. And I've been using ChatGPT for Lucas in particular. Lucas tends to be my fave, or the ChatGPTs that have been created for me, because I've got a few of those. But when I am kind of going through like resistance or challenges or not looking at like situations like relationship situations and things like that, that I'm seeing it from my perspective or it's a limiting belief, I put the situation, my thoughts, my feelings, what's happened into ChatGPT, and it gives me different perspectives. It gives me potential limiting beliefs that I'm holding on to, which I can then go and kind of do my own healing work on them. So I'm using it as a kind of a therapist, psychologist, and this really has helped me to, when I work with my clients, to see, their past life things from a different perspective of what as well. Because I think what Wendy says is you only know what you know. So it's helped me to unlock different perspectives, wider beliefs, lots of different things that I would never have had access to. And that is available to me 24/7. I can just tap it into even on my phone and I'm like, I've just experienced this. What are the potential things that I need to maybe consider that I'm not kind of seeing? And that is a massive game changer. The other things as well as like, everything about me, all of my services. What is the average person that does what I do charge? And I'm like so undercharging, and it's kind of like, oh my God, I've got the confidence now to actually put my prices up because I've got all of this evidence that actually I'm really like pricing myself, like undervaluing what I actually do. So this is the stuff that you can build over time with all of the information that you put into your chat GPT, everything it knows about your business, and it's really, it's very intuitive. It's brilliant. So I I'm a spiritual business owner, and I am using AI to facilitate and really help my business grow and expand, and help with my clients as well.
Yeah, and you have your own little family of GPT. So you've got the
I've got
four
loads.
founders. Yeah, and we've created quite a few. So we've got one that does a certification program. You've got
Yeah,
one that's unique to you, that does your readings, which is really cool. I can't
yeah,
remember what the others are, but yeah, and I think that's what's really special, is that you have the baseline business, because that's what you need in a business. You need the marketing expert, you need sales, you need a good business coach, and you even need a really good CEO. So to me, they're non-negotiable. But then on top of that, you then bring in more specialists and more specialist roles, and then you add even more value. But to me, it's the foundational bits first, and then you add on top of that what's unique to the business on top of that. So yeah, that's really great. Thank you for sharing that. I really appreciate it. Okay, so not only that, but saving roughly about £1,000 a week, and so that's cutting down outsourcing costs, and um, using coaching, strategy, content creation, copywriting, which is a significant saving, and that's probably actually around a campaign. So what I find is, if I do a campaign, like a solid campaign for sprint, I'll save myself a considerable amount of time and money. If I'm using it just as I use it during the week, I save myself anywhere between £750 and £1,000 a week. So everybody that I've just mentioned, and that's just a flavor. There are a lot more testimonials, a lot more people that I've taught this way, but they aren't randomly using AI. They're using it. Well, they were originally using it like most people, bit randomly, but then they shifted from the random, um, moved away from doing the tasks a little bit, and started to use it as a strategic partner. So they're using it very differently. So this is just a breakdown, because I do an analysis every week of what I'm actually saving using my dream team, using AI. So for me, when I did the sprint marketing, which is what this is part of, I saved myself £3,400 in outsourcing costs and 45 hours. And I think actually 45 hours is a bit of a downplay, because if you think about all the moving parts when you bring a campaign together, the different people that are involved in it, the different assets that have got to be created, I actually think it's a bit longer than 45 hours. But a typical week for me would be around 750, £1,000, because I'm using the marketing manager. I'm talking with the tip who does the sales. So I guess the question is, who wouldn't want to achieve results like that easily? Well, I mean, AI, the paid version of ChatGPT is £19, $19 a month. It is an absolutely no-brainer. And the way I teach it is for it not to be cookie cutter. So everybody who uses it, because their business is unique, their personality is unique, we're heading in the same direction, because in business there are fundamental stepping stones that we absolutely have to do. There's no way getting around it. But what we do is we wrap our personality around that. We wrap our clients, our personality, the direction that the business is heading in around the framework, around the step-by-step process. But what I find is, I think I said this earlier, is that, like with Lucas, everybody loves Lucas. Everyone's fallen in love with Lucas. Everyone always has a favorite agent, and actually Lucas is probably the one that comes up the top. But because he likes to go deep, and really question why you're thinking what it is that you're thinking. Everyone will have their own unique, profound experience that they hadn't experienced before. And that makes this training completely unique. Like nothing that I've ever experienced. It's alive, it's organic. What you put into it, you obviously get out of it. So these are just samples from the feedback form that I do with my clients to make sure that everything's, hunky-dory. If I need to improve on anything, change anything. So they're all got different experiences. Christine, who is the first person highlighted in yellow, she actually used it within a company that she was working for, and it allowed them to secure a new contract. And actually said her sales targets, her sales figures were the best that they've ever been for that business, which is really cool. For another person, it's helped them to stop procrastination, which is really, really cool. If you know what procrastination's like, it can be absolutely all-consuming. Another client, she wrote a book published it within 3 days, which is so all these experiences are uniquely different, which is interesting. So besides actually working and getting their plan, they're actually achieving other things as they're going along. People think the agents are absolutely phenomenal, and they do make a significant difference in your business, that's for sure. So most people dabble. We've seen from the evidence, from the assessment that I've done, that most people are dabbling with AI. They're not using it. And what we do is we help them to really fix that by showing them how to build that clear roadmap so they can reach their financial goals. And ultimately, what we do is we condense what would probably take 3 months longer, because it is a big piece of work, to be fair. I'm not going to lie. How I work with people, what I take them through is a reasonable piece of work. So what we do is we compress the 3 months into 5 weeks, because you're using the AI to do the analysis and have the conversation with during the week, rather than, when you're working with a coach. So I used to teach people how to create signature programs. We'd get together once a week, and then we'd do a little bit of the methodology, then they would go off and they'd implement that bit, and then we'd come back. But you don't have that with this. This is like a 24/7, if you want it, ongoing conversation with the AI that you're using, that I've set up with the framework, the business framework that you can then implement to move the business forward. So it's shrunk everything down. So cutting edge AI, work smarter, not harder, having full access to the ongoing conversation where you can check things out, make sure that you're moving in the right direction. So I want to hop over to ChatGPT so I can actually show you how we're doing this. So let me, okie dokie. So actually, while I'm here, I'm just gonna pop. So this is the waiting list application form for Sprint, because I forgot to pop it in the box chat. Okay, and actually what I also want to do is pick up this this. So I've got someone who wants to work with me, who wants to partner up, but he's always too busy. So he wrote this message to me yesterday, just basically saying, I'm sorry, I'm crap, I'm really too busy. I need to sort this out. And I said, okay. So Lucas is my CEO. So Lucas, I have conversations with ongoing during the week. It's the same chat, it's the same conversation. So I said to him, just pop the question he had. Let me just read it, around it, help me sort it out. So this is a challenge that he's facing, and he's not quite sure how to sort it out in his business because he's got a lot going on, like all of us have. So I've popped it into Lucas. Then what Lucas is going to do is going to break it down, and then it's going to ask a question. So you can go back and you can start having a two-way conversation about what's going in the business. Now, the trick is the more context you have, the better. So what I would say is also, if you've got any supporting documentation as well, is to add that in. But ultimately, you're going to start using Lucas as a sounding board to untangle the fact that you haven't got enough time, you really want to do this partnership, but it's not happening. The question might need to be slightly different. I know what I'm looking for, so it's, yeah. So anyway, he would know what the conversation he wants to have. But what's really smart about this is that you can pull in another agent. So Wendy is the business coach. So I can pull Wendy in. So Lucas's big picture has been set up as a not business mentor, has been set up as CEO mindset, big picture. His personality is very different to Wendy. That might sound very strange, but their personalities are actually very different in terms of how I create them. I was creating a new one for someone the other day, and he said, can't you just copy one? And then, can't you clone it? And then, well, yeah, you can, but I see each agent as being unique and it in its own right, with its almost like its own energetic signature. So he is a particular type of person. If I've created another agent for someone else, that's a completely different type of person. I can't clone one and then give it to the other person, because it wouldn't sort of have the essence of who that individual is in the DNA of the business, I guess. So that's not what I would recommend. But what I can do with Wendy is Wendy will, because she's a business coach, small picture, she's thinking in much more detail. She's thinking about today, what the challenges are today, what the challenges are in the here and now, is you can ask her, you can just, this is just a very simple question, but what do you see? So what she'll do is she will, God, that was fast. Blimey. She'll give you a different perspective on the situation it is that we just put in, which was, I'm crap. I want to do a partnership with you, but I just don't have the time. So what she's going to do is she's going to come in from a very different point of view. And this is brilliant, because this is like having a board meeting with the different roles on your team, which you wouldn't have had access to before. So this is how we start to use it more strategically, rather than thinking about tasks, automation, getting your newsletter done, doing your social media. This is moving us into a space which I call, it's more of running your business consciously. It's more, you've got access to an unlimited resources and knowledge. So Lucas and Wendy haven't been created with any restraints, so they have access to the whole of ChatGPT, which is limitless. So you can throw all sorts of conversations. I mean, they're focused on business and they are focused for coaches, consultants, and therapists. That's the niche that these are specifically set up for. But you can start to have really in-depth conversations. So with Lucas, oh, not that one. With Lucas, I start every week, and I'll upload some documents that I teach people to create. And I will, I'll upload them and I'll say, this is what I'm working on this week. This is what's gone before. Make sure I stay on track, that I'm working towards this agenda. And then I start having a conversation with Lucas. So this is the presentation that I've just done. So he helped me bring the presentation together. He's put it in logical order. He's told me, so I've popped my slides in and I've got, this is what I'm thinking, this is what I'm doing. And then he'll just go through and say, well, actually, I don't think that's great. You need to change that. Have you thought about this? So that to me is really, really helpful. That's probably saved me like a day and a half worth of work, which is really, really cool. But what I can do is not just pull in, I can pull in any agent that I'm working on. So if I then wanted to turn this into social media posts, I can just pull in the agent that does social media, Bev, and then I can say to Bev, based on the above slides, can you write me 7 days worth of social media content? And then what I would probably do is actually pop in a link as well and say, make sure you add this full link, don't shorten it. Give me 7 days worth of social media content in 30 seconds based on the slides that I've just created. I can create a newsletter in seconds. I can create a blog post in seconds, but I'm leading from, I'm not doing it the other way around. I'm not leading from a blog post and then that's going everywhere. I'm leading strategically from something that is of significant value and I can still get people signing in for. So this is how you can start to use ChatGPT strategically rather than thinking about it being all focused around tasks. This is much more about, I've got this challenge, I've got this problem, I need to sort it out. How can you help me to sort it out? This is the name of a program. What do you think? So you can start, just think it's like they're in the office with you. It's that type of conversation. It's not about prompts. It's not about here's a prompt, figure it out. It's not, I don't encourage prompts. I encourage conversation, two-way conversation, because that's how it learns. That's how it learns the best way. So what we do in Sprint is quite specific. It's we have a process and a formula that I take you through, but at the same time, you use the agents to help you to figure this out because it can go much deeper than we can see. It can see the patterns. It can see what it is what the actual message needs to be, what the offer needs to be. So we start at the beginning. We look at your ideal client, discover what makes you uniquely different. But we do this from data. This isn't just pulling it out of thin air and thinking, okay, these are the type of people. We actually use data, your data, to do that. So that's what we do in the first week. In the second week, we obviously work backwards. We start to think about, what's the yearly goal? Because obviously we have to have a yearly target. Otherwise, a quarterly plan isn't going to make any sense whatsoever. So then we can bring the quarterly plan together. And then this is really, this is quite important. It's understanding how you're running your business. And this is the insight that Lucas can give, because you'll start putting everything inside of Lucas in terms of, this is what I'm working on. This is what I'm doing. And then what we do is we get Lucas to analyze that conversation at the end of the week. And then we rinse and repeat that process. And this is how he discovered that I was the bottleneck in my business, because he's learned enough about me for him to be able to see that I could be doing things differently, and then he can point me in the right direction. And that is just, well, you know what I think about that. It's just incredible. Week 4, we develop a strong, repeatable sales process to attract and convert clients. And in week 5, we turn that into a really simple plan. And here's the thing, is that Hive, it specializes in marketing. Hive she'll do it for the year, but we don't want it for the year. It's too long. She will map out to the day for that quarter, all of your campaigns, all of the messages, and then you can just either upload or give them to your VA. And you'll have that done in a day. Saves you a significant amount of time, a significant amount of money. So Sprint really is, just an absolute game changer, phenomenal. It is hybrid training. It's a combination between using AI now, using business strategy, bringing the two of them together. It's about making your business more human-centric. And what I mean by that is that you put the client is absolutely at the heart of the business, because if AI is good at anything, it is absolutely fantastic at understanding your clients' needs, and how to put them truly at the heart of the business. So it's really, really cutting edge. It's a step-by-step process. It's one layer on top of the other layer, which is really, really important when you're building a plan. You gain access to the agents for the time that the program is running. So my 4 founder agents you get access to, which is brilliant. Then you can really see what the potential is in using AI strategically within the business. You obviously get real-time feedback, runs over 5 weeks. We meet for an hour a week on a Monday morning. So we've got a community area as well that you can use. So support's on hand whenever you need it, basically. And it's a framework that you can rinse and repeat ultimately. So you can either, spend time trying to figure it all out for yourself, which obviously some people will do, and that's absolutely fine. Or you can jump on Sprint and within 5 weeks, walk away with a quarterly plan, which you can rinse and repeat once you know how to. Once you've got the steps in place, every quarter, then you can just go back. Well, you won't be going back every quarter because you'll be monitoring it as you go over the months, because you want to make sure that everything is on point. But make sure, if you're interested, that you pop across and fill out the not the application form, the wait list. Let me just have a look at see if I've got any questions. I'm hoping this has given you some insight into how differently you can start to use AI, not just about repeatable tasks, but thinking about it strategically. So let me just check the questions. We can have some amazing conversations. Can you shade? Yeah, I've put the link in there, Lise. Did you get it? The Sprint? Yeah. Yeah. AI to write your newsletter, social posts. Yeah. Powerful. Yeah. Neil, what happens with access to the agents after 5 weeks? Okay, Neil. So I have a membership which so it runs for 6 months. So you get access to it's building all the time. At the moment, there are 37 agents in there. So you get access to the smart agents and all the other agents that do the specific tasks. And that is £444 for the 6 months. Okay. Does anyone else have any questions? Any thoughts? Can you see the possibility? The potential, the limitless potential is just limitless. No questions? Nope. Nope, nope, nope. Okay. So I'll love and leave you all then.
Thank you, Wendy. That was brilliant.
You're welcome.
Yeah, thank you, Wendy. Absolutely fantastic. I love it.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome, guys. Take care. Hopefully I'll see you in Sprint.
Thanks, Wendy.
Ciao.
Bye.
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 Thank you. Bye.
No, the space is on filled up yet. So if you get the if you get on the wait list, I can go through and make sure that everybody's a good fit. But yeah.